Okay, so what we're gonna do for the firefighter one state exam review, we're gonna go through the first 10 chapters, and I'm gonna go through each page. I'm gonna mention the page, and I'm gonna mention the questions, and I'm gonna kind of state how I remember it. So our first question is, let's see, it is on page it's on page 12, and it's about building codes. One of the questions was about building codes, about when were they established, and it was because of the Great Chicago Fire. That's the answer. Great Chicago Fire is, and relates to building codes. That's on page 12. Next question is on page number 19. There's a question about what a policy is. They're going to ask guidelines for the present and future actions. Remember that it is a policy and not a regulation. So the answer is policy. That's on page 19. Um, there's a question on span of control on page 20. Span of control. Just remember that you could only supervise a max amount of maybe 5 people. So we have 3 questions so far. Moving along. On chapter 2. Hmm. Chapter 2, there is on page number 26. Page number 26. Um, know what NFPA 1500 is. That's the only NFPA number you have to remember, and it's basically on the OSHA rules, the Occupational Safety and Health Program. So just remember NFPA 1500 and OSHA. That's number 4 questions. 4 questions, 4 answers. Okay, on page 38, there is a question on how many layers your sorry, your PPE is, and the answer is 3. There are 3 layers, so just remember that. It's on page 38. On page 47, they're going to ask a question about what IDLH stands for. Immediately dangerous to life and safety. You have to know what that is. I'm not sure how it was asked, but just try to remember what it is. Actually, I think it has to do with respiratory. Um, what it has to do, what basically has to do with why is it dangerous, and you might have to look that one up. I think it has to do with respiratory. Okay. On page 48, you have to know that the air that we breathe is 21%. I know the instructors have been constantly saying it's 21%, it's 21%. It's on the damn test. So on page 41, remember that we breathe in approximately 21% oxygen, and anything less than 19.5 is oxygen deficiency. But I think you just have to remember 21%. Um, let's see. There is a question. There's 2 questions on page 49 on what an open circuit breathing apparatus is and a closed circuit breathing apparatus. Just remember that we have an open breathing apparatus, so we could breathe in and out, and air comes in and air is released into the atmosphere through a one-way valve. And also know what a closed circuit one is, that it recycles the air. So that's on page 49. That's 2 questions there. On page 50, actually, this I just kind of thought of this in my head. Remember what a high pressure hose is on your SCBA packet. Um, let's see. Once again, there's a review on page 50, NFPA 1500. Just please remember that. Let's see. Still on page 50, Just remember that. Let's see. Remember that after you're down to 25%, your pass alert will go off. Um, and also remember um, that 30 minutes is the smallest amount of you know air tank you could have. It's 30. It's 30 minutes. Okay, so that's two. On page 53, that was the question. Airline hose. Know what a high pressure hose is? That's on page 53. Move along. Move along to page 80. Um, know what the telecommunicator's most important skill is, and I believe that is to emotionalize with the callers, or basically to communicate with the callers in a stressful situation. Um, hmm. On page 92, um, there's going to be a question about how to use a radio, and the answer is 45-degree angle and hold the microphone 1 to 2 inches away from your face or from your mouth. That's on page 93. On page 107, once again, I found it. It's span of control. Know what a span of control is. Remember that you cannot exceed more than 5 people, or 5 groups, but 5 people. That's on page 107. Okay, no, on page 131, know what paralysis is. You have to know that it is the decomposition of the material brought by the heat and absence of oxygen. So just know what that is, and also know what the dangerous gases, the dangerous things that you're gonna breathe in if plastic is burned. For example, PCP, hydrogen cyanide. That's probably one of the answers. Hydrogen cyanide or carbon monoxide. But I believe it's hydrogen cyanide. That's what when PCP pipes are burned. That's the kind of gas that's released in the air. Okay. Oh, I gotta go.